Okay, guys, I am in Polo, Illinois, at the Polo Area Community Theater, I think it's called, Polo ACT, Polo ACT. Fun fact, I used to actually live and work very near here, so I had quite a rush of nostalgia seeing the old towns and roads around here. I haven't been up in this area in about a decade, but I'm later than I wanted to be. The show starts in about 20 minutes, and the seats, my ticket, like I don't have an assigned seat, so I want to get in early to get a good seat. So I'm here to see Agatha Christie's A Murder is Announced, and it's Friday the 13th. And they had a promo where if you saw it tonight, then the tickets were only $13. Unfortunately, it's only my 12th show of the year. Would have loved if that would have lined up for 13. I guess if you count Aladdin twice, because I saw it twice. But anyway, I'm going to go get my seat. Okay, happy Valentine's Day. Let's talk about A Murder is Announced. Where to start on this? I guess I'll continue talking about Polo. So I went to this venue from work, and then when I came home afterwards, I was going through a different series of towns and roads nearby. So the nostalgia wave that hit me on the way to the venue continued as I left the venue, because coming towards where I live now is kind of the route that I used to take when I lived up in that area to go back down to where my family lives. So that was all kind of cool to get all of that nostalgia back again. Quick note, I didn't have any kind of physical ticket, not even something that I could print off. I just had the email that I paid for it. They gave me a ticket when I was there. That was maybe about that long, and then they tore it in half and kept their half and gave me my half back. Morton Junior High School. You don't just take the whole thing. I gotta have something to keep. Even though it's tiny, it still, still says the thing on it. I'm still salty about that. Let's talk about murder mysteries. I don't know if I've ever seen a murder mystery before. I feel like maybe I have very vague recollections from when I was in college of not the theater building and not the music building, which put on their own musicals and operas. There was a dorm house, a house that was turned into a dorm hall. And I feel like it was called the International House because often international students were placed there. I don't know why. I don't even know if that's true. I don't know why it was called the International House. But we called it iHouse. I feel like they had an annual or maybe semi-annual event called International Clue. And I don't know if it was like, I can't remember. If I went, I only went once. I might be confusing this with something else. But I feel like they had an event called International Clue. And I can't remember if it was based on the Clue game or not, because there is a Clue musical, which the theater in Polo is putting on in May, which I'll probably go back to see. But I don't remember any elements of the game, because I remember I had two friends that were in the cast, and they were both just like dead bodies. And we walked through the house as part of the narrative, and so we saw where they were killed. So it's not like we had to guess what room it was in. I don't remember anything about guessing weapons. I don't remember anything about colorful character names. So maybe it was just some kind of a mystery, murder mystery type story, but not related to Clue the game, just called International Clue for some reason. I don't remember. And again, I could absolutely be confusing the thing that I went to. That might have been something else that I'm confusing with International Clue, which maybe I never went to. And I can't even remember how much of a narrative that was and how much it was just, like I said, I remember we walked through the house, but I don't remember how the story unfolded or anything like that. So, other than that, I don't think I've ever actually seen a murder mystery. that may or may not have been one, but even if it was, it wouldn't have been. It's not a traditional one because we weren't seated in the audience watching a performance. We were being led through the house and given a series of clues, and we were supposed to solve it, which I suppose might be a type of murder mystery, but it's not, I don't think, what most people think of when they hear murder mystery. But I do feel like I have kind of seen different, I don't want to say parody versions, but, you know, things on TV shows, like the Bob's Burgers episode with a murder mystery. Like, I feel like I've absorbed kind of the cliche elements of it through pop culture, even though I've never seen one myself. So I wasn't really totally sure what to expect going on. I wasn't sure how many red herrings and stuff there were gonna be, and I don't know. Like, I almost want to say there weren't a ton, but there were. It's just that they didn't. Most of them didn't have a lot of time to stew. I want to say there was only like one big reveal that happened before the intermission, and that ended up being like nothing. Like, I don't understand how that part was ever relevant. I don't know if it's spoilers or not. Maybe I'll get into it later if I remember. But there was definitely a lot of, oh, this person is actually this person, and this person is actually this person, and this person is hiding this thing, and this person is hiding this thing. And, like, that all, it was a lot, but I thought it was delivered well. The venue was a neat little venue. I felt really dumb because I was writing in my notes. I was like, I wonder what this building was originally, because it clearly wasn't built as a theater, but it doesn't seem like it was a church. But there is a big stage, and it's like really high, like higher than a normal stage. And I was like, maybe it was an old village hall or something. And then I looked at the program, and it says Old Polo Town Hall. So, I solved the mystery. But it was interesting. The stage was really high. So even though the seating, it wasn't like stadium seating or slanted seating, it was just chairs on a floor. But because the stage was so high, I sat in the back row and I could see everything fine. Something that was interesting to me is that, every venue that I've gone to, out in the lobby or in the program or both or in the announcements before the show, people are always asking for donations, which is fine, But this venue, they tell you specifically what they are wanting to use donation funds for at that time. And there were kind of several things, so I'm not entirely sure how they prioritize those, but they had announced that they just funded new spotlights that they wanted. They wanted a diaper changing station for the bathroom. They want some new flooring, and like I could see a lot of the flooring was kind of coming up and needed to be redone. They wanted, there's something else that I can't remember, but like they were very specific about, this is what we want to do with the money that we're asking you for, which I thought was transparent. Like, if you're someone that goes to that venue a lot, I feel like that would make you more inclined to want to donate, because you can see, oh yeah, there is a need for this, and I'm directly helping to that. And then once it's accomplished, you can see it. You can be like, I helped contribute to this specific change. So that was really neat. The chairs were not super comfortable. I had to do the thing where I put my jacket on the chair and sat on that like a cushion, and that wasn't too bad in the second act. Luckily, no one was sitting super close to me, so I had lots of room to stretch out, but not the most comfortable chair. But it was a neat little venue. I'll be happy to go back for Clue. I try not, I always say this and then I end up doing it. I try not to critique the performers in these things too much. Partly just because, like, I don't know if any of them will ever see these videos, and I don't want to make people feel bad. I don't want to make local people feel bad. It's different when I'm ranting about a movie and it's people that are paid millions of dollars or thousands or tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they just do stuff that's stupid and doesn't make sense. Like, live stuff is different, so I don't want to be too harsh on that. And I've never done it, so it's not like I know everything or I know what I'm talking about or anything, but just as an audience member, the acting was a little hit and miss. Some of them I thought were very good. One of them really seemed like she was very focused on reciting her lines, but not delivering them as the character. But she wasn't. I mean, had a lot of lines and was on stage a lot, but she wasn't a super important character. So it didn't ruin it or anything. And it said in the program that it's her first ever show. Like, she's an adult, but it's her first ever show. So, like, no shade to her. And then there was someone else that I really couldn't tell if the mannerisms that he had were intentional and deliberate, or if that was just his mannerisms and they all went through. That's kind of how I feel it probably was. Which is, again, fine. The only really weird thing, and maybe it's not as weird as it was in my head, but some of them were very clearly speaking with British accents. And again, like, I'm the kind of guy that your accent does not have to be good for me to be totally okay with it. But then some of them just spoke with their regular American accents. And I was trying to tell, like, based on the setting and the context, if that would make sense for the character. And I think just some of them just decided not to try, which, again, I'm fine with. But it seems like if you're doing a show, either everyone should do it or no one should do it. And then some of them, it just wasn't consistent. But again, I've never done it. I'm not an accent person, so I'm not judging anyone for it. That's just something for me to keep in mind when I go there, is that it seems like the acting level is a little bit less than some of the other community theaters that I've been at, which is fine. It's a small town surrounded by small towns. But I enjoyed it. It was a play and not a musical. I always say that a boring story or a not that this was a boring story or a bad show, but I always say a bad show can be saved by catchy music. I don't want to say it dragged on, but like the whole entire thing takes place in one room. Not even just like one location. Literally just one room is all we see the whole time. The set, like, the background looked really impressive. It looked like a permanent structure. I don't know what the actual structure of that stage is. So maybe that's just what it is and they dressed it up. But I assume they built it and it looks really nice. But I'm like, I wonder how that would compare to something where they need to change the scenes a lot. And Clue kind of seems like it might be another one where it's all just in the one room. I don't know. But it was interesting to see a different kind of set. Because, like, some of the ones I've been to before, it's been mostly one, like, backdrop or one set design in the back or whatever. But, like, it's still very clearly just a temporary set that was built. This just looks like... It looked really nice. It looked really solid. Talked about the venue. Talked about the acting. The show itself, the plot itself... Obviously, there's a lot of reveals towards the end. There's a lot of characters in this. And their names, to me, their names are not memorable. So this is something that I'm sure other people don't have a problem with. So I'm sure some people do and some people don't, and I'm one of the people that does. Like when there are people talking about other people, it's hard for me to keep track of, is that someone I know, is that someone I've seen, or is that someone that has been mentioned but isn't actually a character in this play. And by the end of the show, there were names that were brought up, and I was just like, I have no idea who that is. So I think I would benefit from um, reading a summary, a plot summary of the show, just to make sure I've got all the pieces that I was supposed to get. I feel like I've got like 93% of it. Um, Maybe even 95% of it, but there's just a couple things I was just like, wait a minute, what now? Um, but me understanding the intricate details doesn't really affect how the performance wins. It just affects what I think of the story. So, um, I don't know if I have much else to say. I apologize. Usually, when they're late at night like this, I record this portion of the video the next day. But I have a long drive, a long day tomorrow. So I wanted to get this done today. So I'm just really tired. And I don't have a script or anything for these. So I'm just kind of losing steam here. But I don't want to. I don't want to miss anything important, but I think I covered the important things. I feel like I came off as more negative than I wanted to, so I just want to reiterate that I enjoyed it. I thought that everyone did well, just compared to everything else I've seen of the productions featuring adults. This is a little bit lesser than some of the other stuff that I've seen, but some of the other stuff that I've seen has been very, very good. So I don't want it to come across like I thought this was bad. Like I said, I'm excited to go back to see that Clue show, and I like the venue. I don't like the chairs, but I like the venue. It was so close to lining up really nicely because it's today, as I'm filming this, it's Friday the 13th. That's when I saw it. They had a promotion where if you bought your tickets for today, they were only $13. And I didn't realize this going in. The show takes place. It starts on Friday the 13th. Now it specifies that it's October 13th, not February 13th. But still, that was pretty cool. And it's just like, it's so annoying because it's the 12th show I've seen this year. And I'm like, man, that would have been cool if it was the 13th. But if you consider that I did see Aladdin twice, even though it was the same production, I went twice. It's the 13th show I've gone to, or it's the 13th time I've gone to a show. So, for whatever that's worth, put that in an asterisk on the footnotes of this one. But I think that's going to do it for me. I got to go get some sleep because I'm driving to Chicagoland tomorrow. So it's going to be a long day. But thank you for watching. You have a good day.